Hey, this is Henry Rotten.
Hey, this is Marcus Centofonte.
It's Brad fucking Rush.
This is Big Sexy Venom here.
This is Killer K.
This is Killjoy. Welcome to the GBYWN podcast.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Global Backyard Wrestling Nation podcast. Here with your host, Red Hazard, for episode 13 of the podcast, as we have part 2 of the interview with the incomparable GBYWN United States Champion, the Russ, as well as some recaps from this past May, actually. We're finally catching up with these recaps. But before I get to all that, let me get through the last 3 weekends of backyard wrestling I have got to share with you. First of all, we had EWA Aftershock. We're at the show, myself and Joe Hall. Still frenemies, maybe? I don't know. We're not exactly allies. We don't trust each other. But we did team up against Ryan Rage and Joey Adams, still selling a possible concussion that has turned him a little loopy. That's right, folks. It is the return of 2XL, one night only, in this tag team match, with the winner being it Joe's team or Rage's team getting the next shot at Brandon the Bull's title. You see, Ryan Rage is the #1 contender, but Joe Hall does have a rematch clause, so this match was meant to find out who would face Brandon the Bull at Summer Sizzler. And at the end of it, Joey Adams pulled me out of the ring and attacked me like a wild man. Joe Hall pinning Ryan Rage with a roll-up, getting the victory and getting his shot at his brother. The rematch for Summer Sizzler, and I cannot wait to see how that goes. Also at that show in the main event, Brandon the Bull kicking Maverick Square in the jaw, busted his lip open, busted his whole mouth open. He was bleeding from the very first spot in the match. He was bleeding all over. Oh man, what a sight. It's insane. But we're finally starting to get somewhere with EWA, and a lot of it's going to culminate at Summer Sizzler, a new chapter in the Elite Wrestling Association. I cannot wait. Now, after that, we got to a big one, folks. A big one for me personally. BXW Damn You North Korea 6, Day 1, as I faced off one-on-one for the GBYWN Pure Championship of the World against one and only Mike fucking Damage. This match, I would say 16 months in the making if you want to look at the entire hype video, and how I brought back the Pure title, had it defended, had it relaunched, really, in the United Kingdom and Britain, in the RCWA, with Sam Jude becoming the first new champion in quite some time. And then, of course, I slowly convinced him to come to BXW with promises of a GBYWN world title shot, be it against Marcus Centofonte or Matt DeMorest. And then, of course, Mike Damage snuck in when he heard Sam Jude was coming and challenged him for that World Pure title. I'm sure many of you saw Goodbye 2013. Ugh. Tongue-tied here on these dates. Goodbye 2013. I fast counted on Sam Jude as he had the Kanta Hajime, the Taz mission on, giving Mike Damage the championship, but I took the belt, as it was my plan all along that I was going to walk out of Goodbye with the championship belt. Which is the reason why the board of directors wouldn't give me a title shot, and thus why I did not allow Mike Damage to defend the championship for that whole span of his reign, from November to this point in September. Well, I guess it was late August, really, but to this point, Damn You North Korea 6. And my goodness, folks, I cannot wait until you guys see this match. It's not online yet, but oh my god, I think it was definitely my best singles match of the year. People say pure wrestling is complicated and boring. Watch our match, you will understand 100% of the psychology. And there is psychology in this kind of matches. And they are great. And I love this. I love this style of wrestling. And hey, I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, I won the GBYWN World Pure Championship. The first singles title I have won since goodbye 2011. That was the last time I won a singles title. So it's been quite a while. But I won the title. During the match, Mike Damage headbutted me so hard that my cut from, 2012 reopened for the first time since then. And I wrestled the other half of the match with a busted open head. Mike Damage even got me in the sharpshooter at one point, so I was having flashbacks of Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13 with blood coming down my face in the sharpshooter. Oh, it was awesome. It was great. And I can't tell you enough. That kid, Mike Damage, and I say he's a kid because he's like 6 years younger than me, so I'll call him a kid. But that kid, I love him, man. He can go. When he wants to go, he goes. So no matter what you think of him, if he's too much of a partier, if he's too much of a kid, if he doesn't travel much, whatever you got to say about him, when he goes, he goes. And we had a phenomenal match. I cannot wait for you guys to see that. But on day 2, I finally rekindled, launched the feud with the Russ that we have been bubbling up towards the entire year, which I talked about in that promo that opened the show. As I came out newly washed hair as a champion, I finally got a couple of bucks. Maybe I won't be such a grifter anymore. We might see the transformation back to the old school Rad Hazard. Or maybe not. We'll see, I guess. Depends on how long I hold this title. But with me and the Russ, of course, it all started at Goodbye last year with the Russ defeating my tag team partner, Chris Urban, for the U.S. title. Then the Russ joins the Stepdads, which I took great offense to, and we had a match at EWA for the United States title. I tried to take it away from him. I didn't think he earned it anymore. He deserved it anymore. Of course, I was betrayed. I was stabbed by the referee, who ended up being Daniel Devine. Oh, the Stepdads. Oh. So what did I do to get back at him? Well, I couldn't get another title shot, so instead, I burned his mustache off at NYE. Fireball to the face, took his mustache away. And then I laughed and watched as everyone... No, they didn't chant, Russ, Russ, Russ. They chanted, where's your mustache? And I revealed to the Russ that the whole purpose of it all was just to show that he was nothing more than a mustache. Nothing more than a joke! And of course, he slaps me so hard, my ears started ringing, and that is 100% true. Either way, as we build up to some inevitable big, huge match that I can't reveal yet, because who knows what's going to happen. Backyard Wrestling's real, right? In the meantime, it was myself and Big Sexy Venom teaming up against the newly former GBYWN World Tag Team Champions, the Stepdads of the Russ and Daniel Devine, who had unfortunately lost the titles the night before to the Flamboys, who I don't even think they're calling themselves the Flamboys anymore, but whatever. Adam Bolt Burnett and Andrew Sellers. So this was their rebound match, and this was our, I guess, me getting revenge for the slap earlier in the show match, which was fantastic. And as I love tag team matches so much, they are so easy to plan, they're so easy to work. I could genuinely work an entire tag team match on the fly and be completely happy with it. I know I can do that. I've worked tag team matches in the past with 20% of a plan, and they went very well. So I have no ifs, ands, or buts about it. During the match, the Russ put the ice bucket challenge, splashed the water on me, put the bucket on my head, gave me the roaring 20s, the roaring elbow to the back of my head with the bucket. Great little moment there. Daniel Devine playing up the drunk now as the Stepdads. It's kind of like D-Generation X, where they had the first iteration, and then the second one comes in. It's completely different, but like the second tier guy is now in charge kind of thing. So it's a lot like that, and I really like these new Stepdads. Everyone's got a different thing going on other than just being a stepdad. They're tweeners for life. It's great. And I am so happy to be a part of this feud now with the Russ that you will see build and build and build, folks. We got some exciting stuff going on for the rest of the year between me and Russ. expect that. And then we leave you off with Revival. Revival Jams, be precise. Jams, Jams. Just another Midwest Super Show 2-day event. Oh, in the BXW yard, and there was a lot of negativity, to be honest, coming out of this show, but this is a positive podcast. I like to talk about the good things in backyard wrestling. I like to talk about why we love backyard wrestling, so I'm not going to go into the negatives. I'm going to go into my personal positives for the weekend. I'm sure between all the people who were there, you will hear enough about what may or may not have happened at Revival. But either way, day one, I defended that GBYWN World Pure Championship against none other than FX. And let me tell you this, folks, this was kind of a personal one for me because FX and I had a very complicated history in 2009, believe it or not. It's actually my personal record for the longest time between a rematch with somebody. I wrestled FX in, I believe, August of 2009, and this recently I just wrestled him now, and that was, August of 2014. So exactly 5 years. I don't think it was to the day, but it was pretty close, actually, to the day. I was victorious in the match, but the thing that was really nice about it was that the entire match went very smooth. We buried the hatchet. We used to have quite the problem, I assume. It's hard to even talk about, really. Long story short, I had problems with my ex a long time ago. He ended up being involved with her in some capacity. We made a feud out of it. The Radical Movement directly comes out of the fact that my ex joined Darkstar, which was FX's faction at the time. So you had the Radical Movement, which were all the losers who were always held down. You had Darkstar, who were all the champions at the time. FX being the leader and being the GBYWN World Champion at the time. And then you had the, I can't remember, the CTK, which was heralded by Phoenix, who at the time was Folkland. They were the mysterious mind game kind of people. So you had all three sides of that going on in the Midwest at the time. And I ended up winning the GBYWN United States title for the first time, and then defended it in a title for title against FX. Iron Man match, Iron Man rules. It went to a draw, and my ex betrayed me for a second time, this time on camera, and joined Darkstar. But this time we wrestled. It was nice. It was a good match. We shook hands. And it's good to get that kind of weight off your shoulder, you know? The past is the past, and I hope everyone who has girl problems with the wrestlers, or they have some sort of shady past with any wrestlers out there, you know, try to bury that hatchet, guys. It might take 5 years like me, but just bury that hatchet. There's not a single person in backyard wrestling I have a problem with right now. And I'm so happy about that, and I love that. And I think it gives me so much leeway and freedom to have great matches and go anywhere and have a good time. And I hope everyone is able to do something like that. Anyway, enough of the drama. We're going to day 2 of Jams for Revival. Triple threat match. You got yourself Killer K, the current reigning and defending Revival champion, putting his title on the line if he gets pinned. Against myself, pure title not on the line, and none other than James Connolly. And let me tell you, I love wrestling me some James Connolly. That guy is going to go places. I personally think there are 2 next big things in backyard wrestling right now. If they steady the course, they will both be the next big thing. And that is Big Sexy Venom and James Connolly. Those 2 guys are riding high right now. And they have so many things, so many obstacles to climb, so many hills to overcome. But it is the perfect time for them to start having those big matches, start having those title reigns, start having those storylines. Everything will be fresh because they're new to the scene. And it's only going to go up from here for them. And I'm so excited to have these couple matches with Connolly and with Venom, teaming up with him, going against him, all that stuff, because I get to watch the evolution of these 2 men. And it is so awesome to see the next generation, if you will, of backyard wrestling. The next big things, which is sooner than later. It's coming very soon. In the match, everyone worked my arm. Lots of arm psychology specifically for me. We wrestled in the rain, which seems to be a running theme lately for me to walk out of a ring or end a match completely soaked and my gear completely wet. I'm sure the theme will continue, don't worry. But Connolly ends up getting put in the sharpshooter. He's able to reverse out, put me in a simple arm bar, simple wrist lock. And that one wrist lock allows him to crawl under my legs, get out of the sharpshooter, put me in the burning hammer, and achieve victory. But because he didn't pin Killer K, he didn't win the Revival title. Sorry, Connolly. But something as simple as a wrist lock can change the entire match. And I love little details like that. Stuff like that really needs to be done more often in all of wrestling, to be honest. I love that. Don't take a single move for granted, guys. Not a single move for granted. But anyway, as I draw to a close here, that was all I've been doing lately. But on the very same weekend as I was wrestling at Revival, I personally want to say congratulations to I Sucks Dick's wrestler Mercury. And if you don't know, allow me to be the first to tell you, on what I believe was August 29th of 2014, I'm pretty sure that was the day. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But on that day, Mercury achieved something no other backyard wrestler has, nor I think ever will achieve. He won a humongous tournament, an extremely important tournament in the history of the GBYWN and of backyard wrestling as a whole. When he unified, whatever you want to call it, the VCW Triple Crown Championship, a legitimate world title that has been defended in the United States, in Canada, and in the United Kingdom, as maybe Australia as well. I'm not exactly sure. Possibly against Australians. I could almost guarantee that, but I can't say for sure. A title that has not been around in quite some time. I believe the last time it was defended was maybe 2008-9, somewhere around there. I'm not too keen on their lineage, but it was brought back for this particular event. The I Sucks Dicks Championship, which is without a doubt a world championship, as it was defended at NYE 4 against 5 of the best American backyard wrestlers the GBYWN has to offer. And of course, the GBYWN Heavyweight Championship of the World, a title that has gone from the United Kingdom to the United States and to Canada. And all 3 of those titles were united. I don't know if they're all going to be under one belt. I don't know if he's carrying all 3 of them just for now. I'm not sure, but at the moment, they are united under one man, one champion, and that is Mercury. And just think of the importance of something like that. All these people over the last, I would say, 14 years have put all this effort into these belts and trying to get them to be as prestigious as possible, get people to care about these titles. And then you think of the titles that have been unified with them. I can definitely say the GBYWN World title being unified with the Battleborn Wrestling World title. There's some extra lineage there. I would not be surprised if the VCW title is unified with a couple other titles. I mean, it's a Triple Crown. Maybe it's a genuine Triple Crown. I couldn't really say off the top of my head. So you're looking at least holding the lineage of 4 to 5 to maybe 6 world titles, all under one man. We're around one waist, folks, and that is Mercury. Mercury is the most decorated backyard wrestler in the history of our circuit. Be it I Sucks Dicks, be it GBYWN, be it the Link era, whatever you want to call it. This man has all the gold. He has all the credentials. Kayfabe or not, that is extremely impressive that we've been able to organize. And I give all the credit, to be honest, to I Sucks Dicks, because they were the ones who wanted to do this. We got the championship there. We had the event. I Sucks Dicks did it. Mercury is the world champion of backyard wrestling. And I just want to congratulate him and tell him how amazing an accomplishment like that is for himself and for the entire community to be able to organize something like that. Something really at least 14 years in the making. That is amazing to me. So, you know, big props to Mercury, big props to I Sucks Dicks, and everyone at GBYWN who has ever helped trying to get these titles over, trying to, you know, be that traveling champion, be it the world title or any other GBYWN title. Getting the banner of the GBYWN out there, you have helped in doing this. Do not think you didn't. You have helped in some way, shape, or form. You have brought recognition to this banner, and I thank you for it. And I'm sure Mercury would thank you for it too. Alright, enough of this babble. No more babble. Let's get to this episode's Backyard Wrestling Recaps. Alright folks, just like last time, we're going to do lightning round. And I know a couple people have been asking me, geez Rad, you're really behind on these events. Why so behind? And I'll tell you right now, eventually around October and November, there's going to be a huge downfall in the events for the Backyard Wrestling world, because we will be in off-season, my friends. And that doesn't mean every promotion will be in off-season, of course not. But there's not going to be many shows. There's going to be maybe a dozen shows during the whole off-season. And during that time, I'm going to have something to talk about on the podcast. And not only that, but you, probably being snowed in at your house, depending on where you live, might want to watch some of these things. So, listen in. Maybe you're listening to it now. It's already winter. Listen in. Listen to these events, all the results, all the matches. Because all of these events are online, folks. You can watch every single one of these matches. Whether it be music video, whether it be clipped match, whether it be full match, or some form of these matches out there. So please look into it. And you might enjoy what you find. And with that, let's begin. May 1st, 2014, in the United Kingdom, host RCWA Underground, episode 99. In the opening contest, Dick Manwich and Damian Black defeated Sam Jude and Tim Lee. One-on-one as Ash Draven defeated Rise Wood. Tagged... actually, we got a handicap match here. Handicap match, Dan Van Vertigo and Dan Makabe. Daniel Makabe defeated McGoodwin. Daniel Makabe, folks. Showing up at Underground, showing up in the RCWA. How about that? The GBYWN. It's not quite it's a small world after all, isn't it? May 3rd, 2014 in Pennsylvania, hosted 3BW Sexual Assault 3. In the opening contest, an impromptu 3BW title match as California Wildfire defeated Harrison Sage to capture the championship. One-on-one as Tim Rush defeated Marcus Santafonte. Singles action as Todd Austin defeated some guy named Dan. Non-title action as the 3BW champion California Wildfire defeated Queen Joey. No disqualifications as Nightmare Neil defeated Big Juicy. Matt Scars defeated Lights, Camera, and Action with Troy Allen as special guest referee. CJ Riot's open challenge was answered by the returning RJB as Riot lost the bout by countout. A sexual assault fatal 4G match as the 3BW Femme Fatale champion, the Mistress, defeated Troy Allen, the GBYWN United States champion, the Russ, and United States Hardcore champion, Outlaw Star. A best of 3 series. A 3 falls match with championships on the line in each fall saw the Flamboys of Adam Bolt Burnett and Andrew Sellers take on the Exiled of Harrison Sage and Rick Johnson. In the first fall, the Flamboys GBYWN United States Tag Team Championship was on the line, with the Flamboys retaining. In the second fall, the Exiles 3BW and Action Pack Survivor Championships were on the line, with the Exiled retaining. And in the third and final fall, the Flamboys 3BW Tag Team Championships were on the line, as the Exiled was able to win the championships. The Exiled, the new 3BW Tag Team Champions. And in your main event of the evening, an impromptu 3BW Tag Team title bout saw Matt Scars cash in his Money in the Bank contract to defeat the Exiled of Harrison Sage and Rick Johnson. May 6, 2014 in United Kingdom, hosted RCWA Resistance Volume 51. In the opening contest, Sean Wilson defeated Jin Catastrophe. And the RCWA Tag Team Champions A4 defeated Johnny White and Phantom. May 8th, 2014 in the United Kingdom, hosted RCWA Underground Episode 100. In the opening contest, Tim Lee defeated LVG. The Internet Television Champion, Damian Black, successfully retained the title over Dan Van Vertigo and Ark Howlett. One-on-one as Dick Manwich defeated Jin Catastrophe. A triple threat bout saw Will Ospreay defeat Jet James and Jack Fox. The GBYWN World Champion Sam Jude defeated Ash Draven. And in your main event of the evening, Sean Wilson successfully retained the RCWA Heavyweight Championship over Storm. May 13th, 2014 in the United Kingdom, hosted RCWA Resistance Volume 52. In the opening contest, Apollo defeated Harley Davis. In a triple threat title bout, the RCWA Tag Team Champions A4 defeated Broken Faith and Killjoy and the Phantom. Defeated Broken Faith and Brian Killjoy and Phantom. May 18th, 2014 in New Jersey, hosted OCWS Big Sexy's Backyard Bash. In the opening contest, Pariah defeated Kyle Black. Second contest of the evening saw Ryan Ragnarok defeat Lee. The interim GBYWN X Division Championship was on the line as Halo Brown retained the unsanctioned title over the Infamous Kid and UWC champion Killa K. Sabotage successfully defended the OCWS Extreme Limits Championship over Pariah. Ryan Ragnarok cashed in his opportunity at the OCWS title, making it a triple threat championship bout, as Saint Vengeance successfully retained the OCWS strap against Rad Hazard and Ryan Ragnarok. And in your main event of the evening, DK Adventures, Drix, and the UCW champion Killa K defeated Best Buds of Big Sexy Venom and Truth.
I got the biggest boner for science.
And there you have it, folks. A couple more recaps for you. Going from May 1st to May 18th. The next one's actually the 20th, so I could say 1st to the 20th of May. But now is time for your main event of the evening, folks, as you get to listen to more of the spa enjoying, the beer guzzling, the talkative as fuck Russ, the GBYWN US champion. Please enjoy part 2 of this interview with the Russ.
Mark makes the decision to take the hardcore belt off of Manic and puts it on me. Now this doesn't sit really well with my ride, and he's kind of pissed that he's sitting there being my ride and I'm the hardcore champ now. Which is even funnier because I went out as the EOW champion, and their hardcore belt was this little rinky-dink foam shit, and the belt that he had was The old WCW World Heavyweight
hardcore.
Champion.
Oh.
No, the World Heavyweight Champion
okay,
belt.
it's before that.
So what I did, because EOW died, is I electrical taped the smaller foam belt to the hardcore belt. Like I taped the EOW to the W. Like it was just, it made sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, because I already killed off one belt. Mm-hmm. And there's a trend here.
The streak begins.
Yes. I pretty much was with EOW until the end. So I come up with this wonderful idea, and Mark, Martel thought it was. Martel's always been an advocate for me, and that's why people are like, oh, he's so weird, or he's so creepy, or whatever the fuck it is that people have a problem with Mark or whatever. The reason why I don't is because he gets psychology.
Yes.
He may have some of the goofiest fucking gimmicks coming out of WCW, but I guarantee you there's thought into it. Like,
Mark
Freddie,
has a brilliant mind for wrestling.
yeah, he's like a modern day Rayman without spacing out. You know what I mean? Like he fucking has thoughts. He has the right ideas. I wish people would work with him a little bit more. Like, yes, granted he has some stupid ideas, but if you gave him some stupid ideas, like today was a stupid idea, but it was also a funny idea and it worked.
Mm-hmm. It was
Like-
entertaining and fun.
Yes, like me going around the George Washington Bridge twice, $26. Fuck me, but whatever.
I think most of Martel's problem isn't so much
He's
him
introverted.
himself, it's the situation that he's in.
Yes.
It's being in Amsterdam and the
Yep.
talent that's surrounding him.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's not necessarily a snub against some of the talent because he's now, like, because of the whole going, like, trying to go pro, he's called, like, I'm sure you saw it, but he's called people out and was like,
Yeah.
listen, you guys need to worry about how you look. You shouldn't look like somebody who just came, like, your gimmick, you're a hobo now, but even beforehand it made sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
made it make sense. But all these people that are, like, that's why I'm glad to have a singlet now and shit like that. Like, I'm like, it's about fucking time. It took me forever, but, like, I'm in a spot where I can afford this shit. And it's just like, I shouldn't look like somebody who's just in gym shorts. You know what I mean? Like, just in general. Like, if we're trying to fucking make, like, Ressie do a little bit of wrestling, like, I should have pleathers or some shit. Like, I just never took the time to get it. So, but now I'm in the stepdads. Yay. You know, there's a color scheme for me to go off of. I'm like, all right, let me look up some black and yellow shit. The best I could come up with is black and gold. Close enough. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck that faction you just joined.
Fucking Whoa.
No, I mean, like they're not going to be like, oh, meh," like, because I believe my colors probably match Danny's a little bit more than they do Marshall's. So I think Danny's is gold. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong. There wasn't any flat yellow. That's all there is to it. God damn it. The most unimportant part of anything. But so I was a hardcore champ. Lasted for a while. I do not remember who I dropped it to. I don't even remember if we kept it as a belt. Because that's what I do. But we went away to training right before, like the last match was me and CJ Scott. I was bit by a spider. The brown recluse thing. I almost lost my leg.
Oh.
Yeah, like, oh shit. I was bit by a spider in my apartment, and it turned out to be a brown recluse. And I worked Friday, had trouble going up the stairs delivering food. Worked Saturday, I could not go upstairs, people had to run the food for me. Had Sunday off, and like it was supposed to be me and Scott's last match before we went away to training. And I'm like, dude, I don't feel good. And he's like, I'll take care of you, I'll just work the leg. And I mean, any, like, you know, like your most injured thing is the thing they're supposed to work. Mm-hmm. So they're paying attention to being careful. It didn't matter. Any touching it fucking hurt. We went swimming afterwards. Now, mind you, it was a bad match. I was not feeling good. We go swimming at his place afterwards. It looks like a pimple on my leg. I pop it. A lot of pus comes out. And I'm like, I feel like I should be worried about this. But me being the idiot stoner that I am, I'm like, whatever. And, you know, swim and shit like that. I mean, it's the same end result anyways. Because I go home later, and I'm sitting there with my girlfriend at the time. Yes, I actually had one at one point. Long time ago, in a galaxy far away, Russ was getting some snatch. But like she was like, "Are you all right?" And I had a fever like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it turns out I was hot blooded. I had a fever of 103, literally. And so I was like, "Fuck this!" Like I couldn't walk. Well, I could walk. I was like, I lived like maybe 5 blocks away from the hospital, so I took a cane and hobbled over. Saw somebody I knew driving by. They're like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just going to the hospital." Like I was like 2 blocks away. She's like, "Okay, well, good luck with that." And she just drove away. I'm like,
Good luck with that.
"You couldn't fucking drive me the 2 blocks, you fucking nosy cunt." But she was a cokehead, so it makes sense. She probably had other things to do, like drugs. Yeah, and possibly people for earning said income for drugs. But so funny. So I go there, and the nurse is like, "Oh, you're lucky because I waited 2 weeks," and he showed me, and he had like fucking golf ball sized chunk of skin missing out of his calf. He's like, "Yeah, if you let this go, you're pretty screwed." So they prescribed me for a normal antibiotic that usually works in like to stop it. They're like, "No, if you're somebody who some things don't take to," and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, the high resistance I had, painkillers, so on and so forth. Because I mean, that by this point, I've done quite a few different drugs. Like when I got bit by the spider. Definitely was doing coke here and there. You know, it's not like, "Oh, look out," but it just wasn't, just not my thing. It's not my thing, you know? Like, if you want to talk about anything that you face, ecstasy for days, and even then I'd still be like, I'm too old for that. You know, it's just like, fuck that. Well, that's why I kind of gave you that look at PKM. I was just like,
Yeah.
It's like, maybe if you guys caught me like 5 years ago, maybe then, and even then it's a hard maybe. But because, you know, some people were doing the Molly. But, yeah, like, you know, so I was like, I just kind of looked at them like, see if this takes, all right. So they give me the antibiotic. I go home, they tell me, if you notice like any black veins showing up, come right back. So I get the prescription the next day, take it for the night. That Tuesday I notice, because it was Sunday when I went there, that Tuesday I noticed there's legitimately like 4 or 5 veins of spider, like webbing out from the bite, and they're all purplish / black, and I'm just like, time to go back to the hospital. So they admit me, I'm in there for 8 days and nights. Wow. No health insurance.
Oh.
The bill came at $24,500, and I will say this, and I'll take this to my grave for a single fucking day. The reason why I respect the guy that I work for at Bombers, Matthew Baumgartner, is because he held a fundraiser for me to help raise money for me. Like, those people are such good people. They fucking handed me the cash in an envelope, which was $2,300. And they think at the time they shouldn't have done that, but they don't realize how much they helped me out because there were so many things I missed out on while I was laid up. Like, because I still, like, they tried to work around me and, like, have me, like, work, like, 2 or 3 days a week, but I could barely move, so I was, like, working register and doing kind of stationary stuff. And then eventually I was able to, like, cause I healed pretty fast. But, like, it was one of those things where I got a staph infection. They had to cut the leg open, bleed it out. They had to pack it. Like, they actually had to put gauze inside my leg. And the pain was so bad that they had to give me morphine. Like, I was prescribed for morphine while I was in the hospital for, like, 3 or 4 days. Like, once the pain got really high, they're like, oh, none of this is working. Shit. They gave me a pill of morphine before they did the dressing. Came back half an hour later. Pulled all the shit out. It felt creepy as fuck feeling something go in and out of your leg. I felt like I was in a Human Tool video. And like, well, real life, whatever. Human Tool, whatever. They were humans when they did the videos. But it sucked. And after they did the packing, they would give me a shot of morphine, which didn't suck. So it's like, you know, I had the liquid morphine after the fact. So, like, so that's how bad the pain was the first couple times. And then, like, the swelling went down, and I was, hooray, Russ is okay. And then I trained pro, and then got blackballed from it. Legitimately trained for, like, 2.5 months, but... Or over the course, I should say. I did about 2 full months. Right before I got my chops to get in there. Oh, darn, I missed out on it. Fuck them. But, so... I get blackballed from wrestling. CJ Scott tells everybody that I'm associated with, which by everybody I mean Martel and all them, that I moved out of state, which I had done the complete opposite and started working for the state. And I was around, and Martel got a hold of me on a random New Year's Eve, like 1.5 years after I was training. So I'd spent about a year not yarding. And then Martel got a hold of me and I started taking Greyhounds out there, and he'd come pick me up and give him $20 for gas money, which before I owned a vehicle, I never realized how huge of a help that was. I'm just like, you son of a bitch. You never told me. I never put 2 and 2 together. I didn't know your gas mileage. I don't know. But I still don't mind that because, he was willing to drive from Amsterdam, pick me up, drop me off, go back. That's crazy. And that he was willing to do that. So, there's no question that I have respect for Mark for days. Like, even though he's a goofy bastard at times, for the most part, some of his ideas I'll be behind. Not behind all of them. Still think Puck stuff was a stupid fucking gimmick.
There are a few.
And human being. But that's just me. So, where should we go from here?
Well, let's talk about your transition from Incarnation to the Russ. When did that happen?
Oh, I was actually Incarnation up until about 09.
You were Incarnation definitely at No Remorse 4.
And Wrestle
When I first met you were still Incarnation.
When was that?
That was No Remorse 4. I think that was 2009, summer 2009.
So I think it was 2010. It was near the end of 2009, maybe the beginning of 2010. I realized that people are lazy. A bunch of stone fucking idiots around WCW and shit like that. People are like, Russ, Russ, Russ. Always chanting fucking Russ. Because nobody can go, Incarnation. Apparently that's too fucking hard. Apparently it's too hard. So, I was actually face for, I thought I was going to Ricky Steamboat it for the longest time. I thought I was not going to have any kind of heel turn or anything like that. And then I went to Mark and I'm like, you know what? I have a good idea. How about I join the cartel? He's like, Russ, that makes way too much fucking sense. That's fantastic. So I don't remember what the heel turn was. I don't remember what cinched it. All I remember was I was the Russ after a while. It just because I just never cared to change it really. I mean, I could just be like blah, 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 now I'm Rustache. But that's how promos work. But it's just like,
yeah, totally.
I just don't fucking not only do I not care about that, but it's not like I was really given much promo abilities as it is. This is the most I've talked on a camera in I don't know how long. In camera. This is all audio, never mind, it's just a recorder, this is the 1940s. Tell me what you want to say, Lucy.
Cartel has been around forever.
Oh my god.
That's the faction that doesn't stop.
Yeah, I know.
It just keeps chugging along.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's because when it feels like it's going to die, Martel just grabs random people and throws them in it.
Usually it works. Mm-hmm. Usually, not always.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I will say for a fact that when the cartel had me, JS, and Doc in it.
Wasn't that when the time when Froggy was kind of in it too, right? And Zeke?
I don't know if Zeke was I think Zeke was just associated with it because of my affiliation with the Gentleman's Club. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was funny that Two-Step and Don had to join.
Really?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
I don't remember.
I forgot about that.
They joined that for a little bit there. And I think it's funny because people are like, oh, why does Don have to join, blah, 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 because, I think the heel turn was me hitting Don with a chair, even. I think it's weird, and it was, legitimately, 2 weeks later he joined. I was like...
You knocked some sense into him.
I guess. But it's funny because when it came down to it for the cartel, me, JS, and Doc jaw a lot. And then Don joined up, and it was just kind of I became the silent Arn Anderson guy of the group, even though I was the fucking WCW champion. And my whole gimmick for when I was WCW champion is I didn't give a shit about the belt. I spit on it, I threw it down, I was just like, fuck it. Because by that point I had realized that whenever I get a belt, nobody fucking cares anymore. The only time that people cared was when I was WCW champ the first time around, and I was a face and shit. People were like, wait, Russ. But other than that,
I'd like to think that it's changed now with the belt that you have right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's half and half. Depends on who you're talking about. Now, if you're talking about from a crowd reaction, people in general liking me, sure. And it's kind of hard to put that kind of thought into it from here, because we're in Connecticut, and these guys, like, I mean, I remember fucking me and Ben, like, apparently people were like, the first time me and Ben wrestled, we fucking, like, sent them a really good one. Mm-hmm. They were like, what the fuck just happened? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, Ben isn't that good. I'm like, he's awesome, actually.
Was that back at Domination 9?
No, that was at the Graveyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our first singles.
Yep, our first singles. I did Tornado DDT to you. And apparently that blew people's minds. Oh my god, a crazy regular spot. Look out. And we choked each other with a tarp.
Because why not, right?
Exactly. It's like, I'm tripping on. No, I'm not going to use it.
Did it to me, then I did it to you.
Yeah, I'm sure did. Tarp retort.
What did Martel give you the title with any interest in mind, or you just throw it on you? Because I think Martel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were the leader of the cartel at a certain point, right?
Yeah, I think.
Until Don joined, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Until Don joined.
I wouldn't say that Don was the leader at that time. He was just the more outspoken.
The mouthpiece?
Yes. And because he still had me and JS tagging often enough. Don wasn't there every week. And, you know, I'll get this out there right now. Yeah, there was, like, the best way I could describe the whole Don situation and, like, him coming to Amsterdam is when those guys first showed up, I thought I was going to fucking hate UCW. I thought that, like, I just think it's funny because the two people that I thought I was going to hate the most, I practically love the most, like Crucible and Robbie. Oh, Robbie was such a dick when he first showed up.
Such similar first experiences with
and it's just because he's that kind of guy who, I mean, my thought process when I first met Robbie is he acted like he was so super big league. I'm like, this guy really thinks he's Edge. And like that was just my thing. I was like, this guy actually thinks he's him. It's like, that's what's going on right now. I'm like, why don't you go listen to more Paramore, you fuckface? That was my first impression. But I love Robbie, you know what I mean? Like, and it's very true what you said earlier. It's like at some point you shoot on people at some point, but you really do love everybody involved. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not always true, but you know, Cubed is a dick. So
maybe we'll get to that.
Maybe. I probably don't care enough anymore because I really don't give a fuck. Because if you want to talk about irrelevance other than Don's, like, you know, build up to whatever NYE match that was retirement, I don't fucking remember. Right. But you know, we can have a whole litany of things to say about irrelevance because Lord knows I don't give a fuck. But you know, most over guy. But shoot. Okay, fine, I'll shoot. Cube sucks. As a human being, sure. Wrestler, he's awesome, but... And that's only because of psychology. Once again, psychology's figured it out. I will give that to him for days. But beyond that, you think anybody really fucking cares? Oh, you're tagging with genocide. The only reason why people care is because people like genocide. They don't like Cubed. Okay, maybe you don't like genocide.
I'm good friends with Jay, so...
Good for you. Russ does not give a shit because he acts like a prick all the fucking time, and I've given him no reason to. And I don't expect everybody to like me, and that's okay, but it's just the reality of the situation, and that's fine. But, you know, I'm just tired of people talking to me like I'm an idiot, like I have no idea how this shit works, etc., etc., etc. I'm fucking 31. I'm not 12, okay? Mm-hmm. Don't talk to me like I'm a fucking child. That's all there is to it. But am I going to make it about me? Am I going to sit there and be like, oh, man, this person doesn't like me? No, I'm not going to fucking sit there and do that. I'm just like, okay, you're a dick. And just go and keep to myself. And not try to ruin anybody else's experience. You know, they call that being an adult, but some people don't know how to do that. Just saying. But, where the fuck were you talking about?
Well, we were talking about WCW, but did you go to any other feds, like, around the 2008 to 2009?
That was legitimately when I was going to Connecticut. Okay. Like, I rode with Martel a couple times, went to Connecticut, I wrestled a triple threat with Dell and Strife. That was in 2010. I think I went to a show or two in 09. I can't remember. I think 09 was when me and you happened, honestly.
I believe so. After our WrestleFest 8.
Between Connecticut and going to Cooperstown, those are my actual travel shows. And like when I went to Cooperstown with the trailer and shit, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, because like I said, like at the time I was like, oh man, 20 people at a show, that's crazy. And then I went to a real super show in Cooperstown and I was like, holy fuck. And, you know, I think my friendship with Don was a gradual thing. Like, it just, you know, saw each other more and more. I was like, oh, fucking awesome dude. And I like, that once was like, that's the thing. Like, I feel like the motivation to claw yourself through your ranks and everything. Oh, man, I went to a random-ass fucking show in the Midwest. When
What?
Yeah. I don't remember what year this was.
Was that with Jed and Froggy and Don?
I think so,
like
because...
was it like BYS 5 or something like that?
Something like that.
That was
like,
when was that the show where Demoris wrestled Zayn and separated his shoulder?
Yeah, when he got put through the burning couch.
I think so.
Or the couch that was burned down or whatever, yeah. And Zayn was all super pissed. Mm-hmm. But yes, that was that. They tagged me with Rebel, who I'd never tagged with. I think this was 2010, actually, because they tagged me Rebel, who I'd never tagged with, so I was used to tagging with Richie. And by used to, I mean I did it twice. They tagged me Rebel against DC Doom and Excal. And the thing is,
that
like, I remember...
terrible tag team.
Yeah, but it was a fucking awesome match. And that's what I think is funny. So many people were like, oh, you're against Excal? Oh, it's gonna fucking suck. People shit on DC Doom. DC Doom was selling his fucking ass off. Very Ben-like. Like, you know, like how you do nowadays. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, like how you sell your ass off. That's what DC Doom was doing the whole time. And Excal was selling it pretty huge, too. It's the first time I did a front flip plancha ever. And I don't know, I just made it work because I've just seen Rebel work so much. So I'm just like, I'm not saying I trained Rebel, but I helped cultivate what was going on with that guy. In WCW, I helped with the training of a couple people. I'll brush on this for a moment. Two-step, I helped advise, but that dude already had, he had a good idea on his own. I don't remember who was like trying to show him stuff. He kind of came up with like this dude named JM Grunge. Like they'd already had their own separate thing, I believe. I don't know because I'm not him. But Two-Step had a pretty good idea. Scotty Skills was one of the guys that had a good hand in training with thoughts and everything else, and he just kind of, I guess it was verbal diarrhea in one ear and out the other, you know. It was just fucking, didn't really stick for too long. I mean, everybody else, it's just, I tried to give people pointers here and there. Like, Grey T, he went from being the guy who would do a splash off a ladder after biting down half a banana and choking on it after he did the splash. The banana's still in his mouth. He didn't think to chew it and swallow and then do the splash. He just... it is like, I've seen him choke at least twice on it. So fucking hilarious. His gimmick was a banana and Sunny D.
Gracie's a nice dude, but he's not the smartest or greatest of wrestlers.
No, but now, like, his whole, like, for the last few years, he's been focusing on the douchebag gimmick. Such a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a really good idea. Like, I think it's funny, and Grey T's one of the chillest people I've ever interacted with through Amsterdam, which is just crazy because he's 21 now. Yay.
Yeah, Jesus, it makes me feel old.
Mm-hmm. You.
I'm not too much younger than you.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you weren't there watching him grow up from, like, 03 and 04. It's just like...
No, I just watched all of Bethel grow up when I was in my 20s, and they were all, like, 15.
Fair. You didn't watch his own brother steal his girlfriend from him. Sorry, DeVoe. Oh, sorry, Ben.
Not at all.
Speaking of which, side note, Martel was a little hurt when he heard that you went up there and chilled for a little bit and was just chilling with Casey. He's like, "Brr." I'm like, but you weren't friends with Ben like that. Like, so shut up.
Just friends, we chilling.
Yeah. But no,
Open and shut.
apparently, somebody else didn't like that too much either.
Oh no, not at all.
Did you bring her to this room?
No.
No.
Not at all.
I'm I'm just fucking with you
I'm
now.
curious. I'm seriously legitimately curious about how many yarders Casey's been with. Because I know that she was involved with PJ for a while too.
What?
Yep.
Sky.
PJ.
Sky, PJ, DeVoe. You?
What?
You?
What?
That's a yes.
4. TJ Seymour. Gray T. 6. Wow. It's pretty decent numbers.
He's got some competition.
Oh, Ben.
Oh, me.
That's fantastic. Oh, shit.
That should be the podcast opener for one of the episodes.
Oh, me.
I can see GBYWN podcast. Oh, me.
Alright, so
Let's talk about BKW. How did you jump into that one?
that's a really fucked up funny thing. I first met the Kubishins.
Perfect for the podcast.
I believe RLSW4 was the first show that we met, right?
More for you.
And that's whatever. Yeah. RLSW4, you know what I meant.
Yeah, I understand.
Fucking the shows that don't occur anymore. I should be saying that about everything I'm a part of, except for, what's going on this year. For now.
Fed killer.
Bad killer. Look out, the virus is spreading. I'm like the T-virus.
Hey, Nuera's not around anymore, and he was a significant role in that.
Hey, I'm the one who killed it. Don't forget it.
Hey, you son of a bitch, don't you steal my glory. I'll be the Galactus of feds around here.
We got a new podcast title.
The Galactus. I don't know which one to use now.
I don't know which one to eat now. They all taste like shit. Alright, so BKW, at that show, that's the one I wrestled a tag match with me and Masher. Best tag gimmick idea ever, worst execution. Dress to kill. The whole idea is we're in button-up front shorts with ties and slacks, and then wrestling shoes, like we had our whole gear on underneath. Masher never fucking brought his gear that I bought for him. How the fuck can, I can understand, I can't afford it. Yes, you can't afford a button-up front shirt and a pair of slacks. That's maybe $15 at Walmart. I totally get that. You fucking moron. So he just kept dressing as a gimmick, but it was us against the Statics. EA Static and JD Static.
That was day 3, right? Technically day 2, but they had a Friday show.
I think so. I don't know.
By
It was
today's standards,
no. I think it was day
Friday was
1.
Day 1.
Yeah.
I think it was day 1.
That was when I had the match against Genocide and the younger of those brothers, son.
EJ.
Match. EJ, yeah.
Because I believe, because we were a nighttime match.
Yeah, then that was definitely the Friday.
Yeah,
It
whichever
had to have
day
been
it
the
was.
Friday because I don't think it went. I think
Murph,
the only-
you're telling me to have a decent memory of this, and I've had X amount of concussions, and I smoke all the time.
I've had a couple concussions, and that weekend I had Jed land on me from a roof. So
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez.
we'll get into that when you talk
Yeah.
to me.
Oh, we will.
So we wrestled them. Masher loved to do headbutts. Picks up JD, does a headbutt, and then I see his eyes roll in the back of his head. Now it made like not even that sound. It was like hard thing on hard thing. Sounded like you just picked up a rock and threw it on the ground. You just heard doof. And I'm like, oh God, what happened? I see his eyes roll up in the back of his head, and then blood starts pouring down. Apparently Jed's sharp ass eyebrow cut Masher open, and he's bleeding profusely. And I was like, just like, ugh. I'm like, get over here, pin. Oh, get over here, tag. Because I was like, pin him. And I saw him bleeding. I'm like, don't pin him. Tag out. Don't bleed all over the nice boy.
Poor
And so he
little
tags
skinny
out.
innocent Jed.
And he tags out, and we had still a good half of the match left. it involves so much interaction and like, but thankfully most of it was reversals. Like EA was going for a swanton, having me set up on the barrel. It was supposed to be Masher. He moves out of the way. Like there's a bunch of stuff like Masher trying to get me and tag him back in. But once again, remember that whole thing I told you about, like needing to know when to say no. That was one of those fucking times I said no. I was like, no, I don't know what kind of state you're in. You just took a fucking headshot. You're like, I saw him go. Like he did the Undertaker, but not on purpose. I'm like, yes. So it's like, yeah, fucking no. And so I like took the win for myself, which, you know, whatever. But that's when I met them. I don't know when the first time, what year was I first wrestled for BKW, but I remember Zeke being very welcoming. I thought like it was strange for me to be in an environment where you can't curse, so it was like the first show I had trouble with it, but then after that, like that was it. Huh?
I didn't even know that.
No,
Well, it's a parents' house.
I almost got in trouble.
Really?
The time I went there too. Yeah. Do you not remember what was it like? When I wrestled that 6-man in my first return match when I cursed, like saying like trying to hit a finisher on Jed and everybody got upset.
Oh, what were you just say fuck or whatever?
Yeah, I said like fuck or shit to.
Actually,
to
no,
Jed
I
when
do
was
remember
on
that because it's
finisher.
quite loud. I'm like, oh.
And everybody went silent. And I was like, oh, I went and messed up.
Eh. It was just a weird. Sorry, shot time. Oof.
Iron hole in the belly.
Never a bad time.
So yeah,
But
Kubish is.
yeah, Kubish's BKW. They made me incredibly welcome, but it was also one of those things where Zeke knew for a fact that I'm a good person to wrestle, so he'd already talked to me about this. He's like, I'm going to have you wrestle some new guys or some people that aren't very good at planning. If you could help them put shit together. And I did. And I didn't mind it because he was honest about his intentions. You know what I mean? And like, and I understand if some people have no idea what the fuck their intentions are for me or whatever, blah, that's fine. But at least have me have a say or run shit by me or whatever. It's just like,
Keep me in the
most of these people are just like, this is what you're doing. That's it. Like, I was like, okay, you know, I guess I'm going to do, like, cause I always try and make the better of things. So it's like, but once again, I need to know when to say no sometimes. So lessons. But, you know, like wrestling for BKW is pretty awesome. I was pretty surprised when they were like, oh, we want to put the belt on you. I was like, oh, okay.
Because the Kubish is recognized good wrestling.
Oh no, I know, but I was just weirded out by that. I wish I was able to have like a singles with like Zeke throughout that time, but also the storyline wise makes no sense. I'm the champ and I'm like aligned with the Gentleman's Club. And I liked how we did the whole thing where like I rolled up G Rich. Like it was like the whole classic bad guy screw job. Like I really do only care about myself, but I'm gonna try to use this group to help me get over. Like, and that's the thing. Like the Kubishes are always good with fucking psychology. That's what I mean. Like I just like psychology. It fucking makes sense.
How fun was it to be in that gentleman's club? That looked like a lot of fun when you guys got to do stuff.
Dude, I walked around with a fucking bow tie on my neck with an open shirt, silk pajama shirt. How much fun do you think I had? Tons.
And that was around the time when you were when you actually, what was it like? My return match. It was Chinese Thunder in Paradise when you wrestled Warren in front of
2012, I think,
in front
right?
of Willow, right? No, that was like 2010.
Yeah, that
It
was
was summer of 2010.
See, this is how bad I am with my memory because like I don't realize how much I wrestled.
And I think that was the genesis of you joining the Gentleman's Club because you weren't a part of the Gentleman's Club at
Right.
that time. You were G Rich's stand-in, and you were handpicked by perfection.
Was it in front of Willow? I don't remember if she was there. I think she was
Willow
supposed
was
to be.
there. I think Willow was there because the storyline was that G Rich had slept with Willow.
Yeah, it
what a
was so
storyline that
fucking-
was.
Yeah, one storyline.
Well, that marriage really panned out anyway.
Yeah, it panned out all right. Some fucking bed panned out.
Zing.
It really did though. But I like the coup, like fucking man. Everybody says it, but like Jed and Zeke should have gone pro so long ago. But I think they have the same problem I do, and by problem I mean good thing. They don't want to deal with the whole politics
Yeah.
bullshit. And even what we're a part of, there is bullshit politics involved, and that's something that we have to accept. And that's why I feel like it's kind of funny whenever there's like an NYE or like any kind of new era type affiliate show. Because honestly, I feel like it's a fucking tribunal trying to plan these shows. And I'm just like, I feel bad for Don. She's sitting there at the head of the table like, people, can we please have some order? It's just like...
I feel like Don and Zeke during that entire year of New Era was like, how do we book this without pissing anybody off?
Well, no, you
and,
can
like,
see them
fucking
both
anybody
brooding.
over in the bookings.
And they did really fucking good.
I agree, yeah.
But it's just funny because you see them just brooding there, just like, fuck. I got it! and that's what I mean, like, I don't think that's why I don't crap on ideas and I give people chances and shit like that because I'm just like, you know what? I'm willing to try this out because this is what they want to happen, like. And like, Zeke has never bullshitted me about me working a newer person, so on and so forth, like. I'll have to be honest. I've wrestled so many new goddamn people, or people who haven't wrestled in quite a few years. But the worst one that I had was against Broken Boy.
Oh, man, I remember that actually.
I'm sorry. But that's where I played to my strength, where I'm just a goofy fucker anyways. So I had to lay on the ground waiting for the elbow drop of 3 minutes.
Wasn't it supposed to be a moonsault originally? And like 2 minutes later, it turned into like a
he just like he was standing there like forever and then realized that
and it wasn't like
couldn't do it.
And it wasn't like off a roof or anything.
It
was
got
off like
a short, stunted little shed.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, any minute now.
I remember you were like, oh, it's so painful, I have to move closer. I remember you said that.
Yeah.
Good for you, because if that was me and he was there for like a good solid minute,
Russ
I probably would have
Russ-
sold up and
yeah.
taken a shot and been like, you fucked up
Right.
your chance. I'm
No,
taking
no,
it.
I
Russ
did.
turned it into a thing. Like, it was funny.
Yeah, like whenever there's a fuck up, I do my own thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like with Danny. It's like, Russ, what are you doing? Oh, Danny wants to do some universal bullshit. that was my thing. Like against Danny, I felt so bad when I forgot that fucking couple of minutes. But whatever. Man, I feel like me and Murph are like fucking alcoholics right now. We're just like downing liquor right now.
I don't know that much.
Not until your interview, you won't.
Shoot, there it is.
Tag team's back again. Let's jump back in. Let's begin.
Well, let's jump into a couple of the other feds. We've gotten through a lot of them. But what do you think about BXW, your debut there, as well as New Era last year?
BXW, I knew I liked Urban because I believe I saw him wrestle Zeke at Round Lake. I could be wrong.
Urban Zeke?
Urban Zeke?
I don't think they ever wrestled at Round Lake.
But Urban did wrestle at Round Lake, right?
NYE won, they wrestled each other.
Okay, that's what it is. But I saw Urban a couple times. Like, I believe I met him at Round Lake. I could be wrong. But then I saw him wrestle Zeke at, like, NYE 1. I'm like, this fucking dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew that was going to be a good match. Like, it was strange because that was, like, the furthest show I have traveled to. Well, no, not the furthest, because the furthest was, like, Midwest. That fucking... But I'm saying, like... Excuse me. Okay, furthest I've traveled, and I felt welcome. If that's fair. But that's only because when I went to Sick Rick show, I really didn't know anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I had missed the fucking boat on, like, the Link, all that shit. Like, when fucking Henson was coming on.
No idea.
I didn't know there were so many people that missed out on the Link. But you know what I mean? Like, I should know Ricky Crash. No fucking clue. I should know Drew Cordero. No idea. But you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, I use that term very loosely. Like, not like, I should be a big name. I mean, I'm saying, like, I should know those dudes situationally. Like, I should have been able to make it to those shows, but I just didn't know about those travel shows. Mm-hmm. Like, because I love Mark to death, but that dude would give me the shortest fucking notice I've ever seen in my life. It's like he sent a carrier midget to go give me the delivery the message.
Pigeon, but a midget.
Yes. He's like, man, pardon me, sir. What? It's in 3 hours, fuck!
I live 2 hours away, damn it!
Yeah, but, you know, and then, like, sometimes you just fill up the car with the shittiest people in existence. Like, and maybe one or two good people, who knows, but, you know, I just missed out on the boat on that shit. But BXW, I just like the opportunity of wrestling new people. And I kind of hold on to that thought. But then you realize after a while, like especially some of the things, it's like, all right, let's fuck off with wrestling new people. Let's wrestle people who are excited to work me and want to work me. We've worked each other before. We were super excited for doing this match today, and it came off fucking great.
Yes.
I'm a big believer in that myself. If two people really want to wrestle, they're definitely gonna have the best match because they're putting all the effort.
They'll work
into
with
it.
each other's strengths and weaknesses and absolutely kill it.
Yeah, like when I wrestled Primetime at PKM Day 2, I was like, I'm gonna love this. This is fantastic. And the thing is, but Ant was also able to I don't know why he took this approach, but he was just like, I get to be your lackey. And like he legit came up with one spot for that whole match, which was the guillotine and the Russ dash ride. That was it.
Sick.
And like which is very sick. And like I would come up with spots and he just added his own little spice to it here and there, and I was just like, all right, word. If this is how he wants to play it, I'm okay with this. Like I'm okay with leading a match as long as the person has no problem giving their input, which Ant had no problem with. So, I was okay with this. Like, it wasn't fucking... I'm like, oh no, I have to lead... Like, it wasn't like pulling an anvil through sand. It was legitimately, like, free flow. It's like, yeah, like, most of these spots or whatever, it's me.
Everything
like,
is clicked.
But it fucking came out perfect. Like, I thought there was moments where that match was slow as fuck, and it wasn't. Like, I'm pretty certain it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. As the ref, I can vouch that it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Short-term memory. Shot. Certain times. But no, that's what I mean. Like, because, like, I like the pacing of that because I had trouble getting up. But it's great because I'm supposed to have trouble getting up. Yes. Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, it's not too bad to be excited about shit. It's like when you're not so much, I understand, like, why guys like Mike Williams are really excited about this. He tried to refer to today as his fucking debut for Herman Cox.
He did?
What?
Yes, to me. Like, I've just been sitting in a corner, like an REM video, just like, that's me in the corner. And I'm just like, fucking earplugs in, and like somebody just sew my eyes shut and just... like, I had never been exposed to a Mike Williams match ever before in my life. And I forgot that back in 2010, he was trying to debut Herman Cox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember when...
I'm like, so apparently you've been debuting for 5 years now. Like, fuck.
I remember when he tried to cut a promo when JWA came back for like
Cut
a
the
second time
promos?
when I was never able to go. And he tried to like shoot on me, and I'm like, who the fuck is you to try and shoot on me? You motherfucker. Whatever. Not like you really did anything.
I'll never forget that.
You were the one who was saying that you weren't drinking that much. Do you want a beer? I have a fridge full of them, Ben. Stop being all tired and shit.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
Ben,
to...
Get crunk, turn it up.
Hey,
Get turned
I had
up.
to owe me. Right?
Get hyped, Ben. Get hyped.
Don't just get hyped, stay hyped.
Here, chase that.
He's gotta get hyped first.
But then he'll stay hyped.
With some nos.
How does this taste together?
Huh? What's a knots?
No, I said with some nos.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, what's a knots? Like, have you never had one? Are you fucking an alien?
I've been living under a rock. It still amazes me the whole Mike Williams leaving Dawn and Puck Stuffer in the middle of nowhere. Like,
Dude. Nothing to do with any of us, but I'll tell you, what a fucking ridiculous endeavor.
He tried to drag me into it too.
I didn't know about
I
that.
got a text message from him, and I can't remember if it was him or whoever he was riding with. It was
Probably
like,
Don.
Yo, no,
Don.
it wasn't Don.
Oh.
It wasn't Don. I know for a fact it wasn't Don. I know it was Mike Williams or whatever other guy I was traveling with to go get Don. He was like, yo, we're going up to Cooperstown to pick these guys up. You're on our way, which is totally fucking not true. Because I am east of Cooperstown, and Jersey is west of me, so it's a straight line up to Cooperstown. I am not on the way.
Well, not the way the
He's like-
highways work.
And he's like, I'm gonna go pick you up, and then we're gonna go get Ace Reed and PJ Matthews, which no, because they didn't fucking answer their phones.
Here, sir.
And I'm like, no, I'm not going on a whim. And thank God, given what Don told me of that horror story, that I didn't get involved. Oh, God.
The videos are still up too.
Really?
Really?
There's fries in that bag, Cajun fries.
Oh,
Fine,
jeez.
guys.
So,
I'm not kidding.
Oh, you take my thunder there, Murph? Just
No.
kidding.
Well,
Please,
let's get
no.
into the final few years here. How about new era? How do you feel about jumping into that?
Best thing I've ever been a part of. Like,
A lot of us
all the
have
way
been a part
through.
of.
all the way through. Definitely the best thing I've ever been a part of. And not because, me and Warren were fucking Zeke's lackeys or anything like that. It was just fun. It was legit. Like,
You weren't just Zeke's lackeys. You're also the most, I think, over tag team in the group for that year.
I get. I'm saying all this shit loosely. I'm not saying it like, oh, this is how I looked at it. Like, some people could view it like that, but I don't think it was like that at all. I just think it's funny that the last couple of years have been like, oh, people don't think I'm over, and that's the heel thing that I have to do. But I have to remind people that that's what's going on sometimes. Like, and it's not in a shitty way. I just have to remind people that you guys like me better when I'm a bad guy. Mm-hmm. That's all there is to it. Like, I can still be a silly, cutesy motherfucker. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Rock's heel turn, not so much with Austin, because Austin was more.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's Piper's.
I think the way it works for you.
People love Piper, but they always forget.
They love to hate him.
To hate him.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. I think what it is people love to hate you so much that eventually it turns into actual love. So you have to turn face for just a little bit of time to get that over with. So that way you can then remind everybody why they love to hate you so much by turning heel.
Which, at first I thought it was a bad idea. Well, not a bad idea, but just an odd choice to join the Stepdads. I'm like, no, this fucking makes perfect sense. Me and Danny have the exact kind of train of thought when it comes to being snarky fuckers. Me and Marshall have the same kind of idea and thoughts when it comes to, just spots and shit like that. You saw how me and Danny were planning in our singles. We would just walk away from each other oh man, I don't know. Let's come back, start talking to each other really quiet and just giggle and walk away from each other. Because I was like, wait, but instead of this, turn around, he's like, exactly, that's what I was going to say to you. And it's like, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, and it's also a fantastic way to make sure that we're not wrestling each other because, goddamn, not Danny so much, but I did wrestle Danny in a full, that was one of my bigger multi-mans was me, Sid Blade, Danny, and Rush.
Really?
Yeah, it was at one of the Cooperstown trailer shows. Okay. And I thought it was really good for what it was, which was, once again, love Sid Blade, waka waka. Not as good as he likes to think he is. But as he got older, you kind of realize that, which is great. It's like, yay. You have self-awareness.
Russ has had 4 shots.
Yeah, no, I've had more than that. Okay. It's 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
So I've only had about half the bottle at this point.
Only half?
Just wait, my interview's gonna be awesome.
What fucking time is it? Are these other fucking shitheads showing up, or?
It's 11:50.
Probably not.
Oh, probably not. Oh well, who gives a shit?
Or they're still at the bar.
They could be.
They probably went back to the bar.
There are some people at the movies.
Probably went back to the bar.
X and CT are all abound everywhere. I don't even know if that sentence made sense.
You said something about CT all abound everywhere?
Yeah.
No,
I
that didn't make any sense.
around everywhere.
Ah, there you go.
But replace the R with a B.
It's starting to take effect.
God, if I keep drinking this whole interview of mine might just be 15-year Murph.
Right?
I'll just talk about going over Matt DeMorris for about 2 hours.
I can't believe it.
Back in my day, I wrestled guys like Matt DeMorris. Back in my day, I didn't know who Matt DeMorris was.
I did. He was that quiet kid.
I'm too old.
And we're going to have to hold off there, folks. You're going to have to wait for the finale of this 3-part interview. And let me tell you, it is a doozy. You know what we're getting towards. We're getting towards more Alex Cross. We're getting towards more New Era. We're getting towards more Stepdads. We have so much more to talk about with the Russ. And we will definitely talk with the Russ next time on this show. So until then, please enjoy the sounds of backyard wrestling. And as always, I am your host, Rad Hazard, here signing off for the Global Backyard Wrestling Nation Podcast.
I'm gonna try not to be too long. It's late already. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Your fucking show. Fuck it. Do what you want, Doug. Have a seat. You're probably thinking, oh, it's NYE. Don just begged Alex to wrestle him. No, this is Alex's idea. He had already made his piece, and I just want to thank him for coming to me with the idea, and I want to thank Steve for being cool with it. Thank you guys. Lastly, I say this every year. I say this every year, but this really is the last NYE and the last show in this yard. That sucks. I know, I'm sorry, but I'm getting old. And this shit is a lot for the UCW crew, and I want to thank the UCW crew. Everyone says that booked an awesome show, but if it wasn't for Steve, Morgan, Froggy, Ben, Warren, Zeke, Trey, we had our little deal, but Trey, thank you. None of this would have happened. I fucking love this community, and I am sad that I'm not going to be a booker for it anymore. I love you all. Thank you. I'm fucking crying, I'm a bitch.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. UCW. 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 UCW.
Just gonna waddle away.
I wasn't done talking. I hope that a lot of you go to Big Dick Wrestling Universe 3.
Thank you.
Everybody come, please. I hope that you guys continue to support Allentown. Next year's their last year.
Yeah.
And guys, seriously, 3BW is fucking good.
Yeah.
This community can strive, but just keep it alive, please. I love you all.
Saying this is the last NYE?
Yeah.
No more?
No more.
We gotta go out the way we gotta go out, or the way you should go out, the way a pro wrestler does. American flag backdrop, fucking posing!